Good day, everyone, and welcome to Bob's Reviews here in Manila, Philippines. I want to take the time to thank everyone for watching this. We're looking out at the Manila Bay sunset, right? And it's really beautiful. It's really cloudy, so it's not one of the most beautiful sunsets, but the colors are really nice and it looks beautiful. Today, we're going to do a video on a project that I had been working on for a few weeks, and it's on a pair of Kef X300a, which were amplified speakers, and I converted them to passive speakers. And I'm going to show you the progress of how I did it and what I used to do the job correctly. I feel correctly. They came out pretty good, and I must say. So we'll go through it. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, so make sure go grab something to drink, relax, and we'll go inside and we'll take a look and start over on this, because it did take me some time to get everything together for this project, and that's why the delay in the video. But I hope you enjoy this little part of the sunset intro that I made for this, and let me know in the comments if you liked it or not, and we'll go back inside and we'll start the video for the speakers. I really was impressed with how they came out. So, thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm back inside here, sitting down in front of my stereo. I have my chocolate chip mint that I made from Loran. Chocolate chip mint, very good. 6mg, vaping on my RVCC Ultim, very nice. We're going to be talking today about my Kef speakers. Hold on, let me take a vape. We're going to be talking today about Kef speakers. Now, I haven't had Kef since the 1990s, and those were the Coda 7s. Those are way back in the 1990s when I was really turned on to Kef for the first time. I was very impressed by those Kefs. But I have not had a pair since then. I found B&W. Now, you have four major players from the UK. Kef is a UK company from England. And the four major players are Tannoy, Wharfdale, Kef, BW, I should say five, Mission. Mission is the baby. Mission started in 1977. Then B&W, 1966. And then Kef, 1961. Bob, that's old. You haven't heard anything yet. Wharfdale, 1932. Tannoy, 1926, 100 years they've been making speakers. Very good. Those are your four major players from the UK. A Kef right now is right up there. Is probably holding the Kef and B&W are the top two right now. Wharfdale probably third, Mission fourth, and Tannoy fifth. But these Kefs are the X300a that we're talking about today. These are the 300A, and they're amplified speakers. They came amplified. But these particular ones I bought were blown. The amplifiers were no good. Somebody tried to do a conversion to convert them to passive, but they did not do a very good job at all. I picked them up for 3,000 peso, about $60. Okay. Now, technically, you can't call them Q100s because the Q100 was front ported. You can't call them Q150 because the 150 had different kind of woofers. But yes, they were rear ported like these 300s are rear ported. But so what I did was I came up with the name of Bob's Q125s. That's Q125s because they're in the middle. But basically, to convert these speakers here, when they were amplified was 70 by 70 watt. And right now I'm using my Fosi setup. I'm using my Ieast streamer that you cannot see off camera. The CD player is hiding it. Ieast M50 streamers there. And then I'm using my ZA3 and my ZD3 made by Fosi. There you have the visualizer by Fosi. Very nice kit. Once you buy one Fosi, you go down the Fosi rabbit hole. You need to buy more. I'm still waiting for my second ZA3. So right now, the Kefs are being powered by one ZA3. And they sound, by the way, we're listening to Spotify copyright-free jazz. And this is from Spotify Premium and from Unicorn Media Studio. It's the jazz, no copyright, no royalty. And that's what we're listening to right now. I cannot do sound tests really because I don't have the setup to do proper sound tests. But you have to take my word for it. These sound unbelievably good now. But let me get back to the speakers. They have the Q driver, which is very unique to Kef, where they put the tweeter in the middle of the woofer. Kind of like a coaxial speaker, but a coaxial speaker on steroids. So this has a 1-inch, 25 millimeter aluminum dome tweener, 130 millimeter, 5 1/4 inch mid bass made out of magnesium aluminum alloy cone. Very nice. And it sounds really good. They're crossed over at 2500 hertz. Now that's some important information you need. 86 dB sensitivity, so they do require a little bit of power to push them, which is great for the Fosi because the Fosi has more than enough headroom to push these. And when I have two of them, they'll have more than enough headroom to push these, okay? But having that knowledge is very important because when you do the conversion to passive speakers, you're going to need to buy crossovers. Now, the crossovers that came with it, which I'll put a picture up here, the crossovers that came with it were wrong. Their crossover point was 3,000, which is not correct. So that was bad. The speakers had no stuffing inside. That's bad. And they had no bracing. Now, when these speakers were new, the X300a, they were over $800 or 40,000 peso for these. Okay, I know they're white. The white is growing on me. At first, I did not like the white, but the white has been growing on me. But I digress. They did not come braced, which I could not believe. Why these make such a good candidate for doing a passive conversion is because the back door, if you could see in some of the pictures I will be showing, it has a back door, so you could gain access to the cabinet. Excellent access to the cabinet. So this is a real good candidate for upgrade. So what I did was I lined the interior with the acoustic. You see the black acoustic panels on my wall? I bought another 12-pack and I used 4 of them. And what I did was I lined the whole inside of both speakers with that acoustic tile. Then I only did half of it. I kept the sides, did not cover the 2 sides, the 4 sides yet. I put a brace of 1x2 wood in the middle, exactly in the middle. There was enough clearance to put it right directly in the middle. And what that did was it tightened up the cabinet so there's no resonance. So it sounds so much better. No vibration. When you tap on a side, it doesn't sound like an echo chamber. It sounds like it feels like you're tapping on a rock. It's solid now. So I braced them. I lined them. I bought 2 of correct crossovers, and it's from this company. I'll put a picture up from this company. Great company. They helped me with the crossover and the binding posts. The person that tried to do the conversion, he bought really cheap binding posts, a little itty bitty 5-way binding posts that were too small for my fingers, and they were too small for my banana plugs. I didn't like the way they attached, so I upgraded that to the full copper. I silver soldered everything. I even replaced the wiring. You know, that's another complaint of mine from Kef, but I kind of understand it where they cut money. The wiring inside these speakers was absolute crap. Nothing but cheese, as you could see in this picture. I replaced it with monster cable, 16 gauge shielded cable inside that you could also see in the pictures. I replaced it with that. I lined everything with the acoustic tiles. I replaced the wiring inside, and I used the correct Cardass silver solder, their quad solder, the silver solder. I used that for all my soldering. I soldered everything. I didn't use any connectors on it. None of the push-on connector types that were originally on it. I soldered the wires to the speakers. And I soldered the wires to the binding posts using the silver solder. The crossovers were simple, easy peasy to install. The correct 2500 hertz, correct installation. I put cotton stuffing inside, so they all have cotton stuffing all the way around inside. Really beautiful. And I tell you what a night and day difference. When I first bought these speakers and I hooked them up, I was sad. Bob was so sad, and so what happened was I sold my Mission 780s, the speakers that I swore I would never sell. I talked to a whole bunch of my friends in New York, and they all told me, get rid of the Missions, buy the Kef. Get rid of the Mission, buy the Kef. The Kefs are insane. So I did that. And when I first hooked them up, I wanted to cry, because an hour before that, I sold my Mission 780s. Yes, I did really, really, really well on selling them. I more than 4 times my money. But that wasn't the point. I loved those speakers. They sounded so good. But now, after I've done the conversion on these and the correct crossovers, I cannot believe the sound that these speakers produce now. They're really nice. Now, the cabinets themselves are 280 millimeter by 180 by 243 millimeter, or 11 inch by 7.1 by 9.6 inches. They have 4.7 liters of internal volume. Okay. Now, I know they're white, and the white's growing on me, kind of, but I did look into real wood veneer. And the real wood veneer, to put real wood veneer on these, it would cost me 3,000 peso, $60. The wood veneer itself is between 500 to 1,000 for the amount of veneer that I need. I could either do it in black, a black veneer, or I could do it a black wood veneer, or I could do it on a smoke oak veneer. I'll put the pictures up. Let me know in the comments what you would do. Would you leave them white? Would you put the wood veneer? And what color veneer? I would truly appreciate it if you put it in the comments. I really appreciate your input. Because I'm debating now, because the white has kind of grown on me a little bit. Now, that the crossovers, as you could see in the picture, they have a couple sandcast resistors in it, and I'm not a big fan of them, but they have the air-cooled inductors, which I really wanted. So the ones that came with it, the wrong ones, I'd give them an F. I give these ones here a B, the new ones. The original Kef crossover, here's a picture. I give that a C. I don't like that. I don't care for the original one for the Q100 either. But I do like these newer ones. They do look and sound a lot better. They have the air core inductors cooled inductors like I really was looking for, and the poly cap. Very nice. I don't care for the sandcast resistors, but you can't have everything, especially here in the Philippines. You got to remember, I'm PWD. I'm in the Philippines, and I live in a condo. So I don't have my workshop no more like I used to have in New York. So I don't have all my tools and all my equipment that I used to have. So I did all of this inside of my 1-bedroom condo here in Manila. So I got to pat myself on the shoulder for that one. I think I did a pretty decent job. Okay. Now, I need to give a shout out to Fosi. Thank you very much, guys. You guys make some good products. I'd like to give a shout out to NL Electronics boss Nelbert. He is the speaker Jesus. Really, he helped me out with some information on these speakers. And ni hao to the crossover. I cannot pronounce their names, but here they are. For the shop that sold me the crossover and the binding posts. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. Xièxie, appreciate it. You guys let me know in the comments about what you should do about these cabinets. Leave them white, wood veneer them, and what color. But all in, I have 3,000 peso into the speakers themselves. The upgrade costed me 2,139 peso, which came to 5,039 peso, a little over $100 to do the upgrade and to do the conversion. I do not think that's bad at all, especially for the quality of speaker that you end up with. It's just a little bit of work. It took a long time. The reason why there was such a delay in my videos is because it took me some time to get everything I needed together for the conversion. I had to order a few items a couple times because I was sent the wrong item, like the wood. For some reason here in the Philippines, I bought from 2 different wood suppliers, 1x1 square piece of lumber, 1 meter long, 1x1, 1 inch by 1 inch. And both times that they sent me 1 meter, 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch. So I finally got smart and I ordered a 1x2. And what I received was a 1x1 3/4. Close enough, close enough. I cut a little piece off and then I cut it in half. And I put the little piece in each one. So now it's technically got bigger than 1x1, but not 1x2, a little smaller. But I digress. That's what you have to deal with here in Manila. I dealt with it, no problem, easy peasy, took care of it. When you cut the wood, make sure you measure it a little bit wider than the cabinet itself. All right? Don't cut it the exact size. You want it to be very tight because you're going to tap that piece of wood in place. And you want it to be tight. So what you're going to want to do is you want to cut it a couple millimeters bigger and use a piece of sandpaper to get it to be cut it down to the proper size so it fits up in there with a couple taps of the handle of the hammer. Use the handle of the hammer, wood against wood, it won't damage it, and just tap it in place. And also another Bob's tip, sand the one corner of the piece of wood that you're trying to tap into place. If you sand that one corner, it'll be easier for a piece of wood to slide up into place. And then use wood glue and a couple screws. Easy peasy, job well done. It'll be really nice, and you'll be really satisfied with the job, and you'll make yourself happy knowing that you did something. All right? Something useful for your speaker, for your enjoyment. Because after all, this is going to increase the sound of your speaker quality. Okay? So I think I've said enough. I've taken enough time with everybody. I can't think of anything else I'd like to talk about. I think I've described everything. This was the total, really a great project. I had fun doing it. I was very happy with the results. It was very easy. The soldering was much easier than people think. It's very easy. Practice on some wires before you do your job. Just practice before. If you have had no experience soldering, it's very easy. Watch some videos on YouTube. Familiarize yourself with the equipment and what you need to do. And then just grab some pieces of wire and start trying to solder them. That's all. You'll learn by trying it. And that's the fastest and easiest way of learning. You're going to make mistakes. Don't worry. You could do it. Just keep trying and you will accomplish it. All right? Well, I've said enough. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. I would truly appreciate it. Check out my sponsor, Puffin Stuff, at the end of the video. They're the #1 head shop here in Manila, Philippines. Check them out on Facebook or on the web. That's Puffin Stuff. You guys be safe. Have an excellent weekend. I appreciate you watching. Thank you for your time. Everyone take care and be safe. Salamat. Peace.